because I thought they would be a fun way to explore some shimmers without doing the traditional swatching, which is fun, but maybe not as fun. I don't know. Anyway, that's what's going to happen today. I'm waiting for my water to boil, so my tea should be ready soon. I'm going to explore different brushes for these and try different ones, which I like to do because you never know what's going to make the best shape for you. So if you are painting something new to you and you're not sure, I suggest exploring different brushes. So for right now, I'm going to use a kind of a round, semi-mop round. It's softer, so I wouldn't say it has a medium bounce back, which isn't as stiff as maybe a traditional round, which is going to really kind of spring back and have a finer body. See how this round has a really skinny body. It doesn't hold as much paint and water, while this one, you can get a pretty good belly down on your paper, so you're going to get much more play and space and fun to work with, right? Whereas this one, it's going to give you more of a, see, straight line. And so my preference in general, 80–90% of the time, I like to use these kind of brushes that have a bigger belly on them. I think it helps stay more loose. It helps just kind of get this, see this fun movement. And then if you try this other round one, you're not as much getting that, right? It's more, kind of more in a row, in a line, and very more detailed, whereas mops tend to be kind of mushy and fun, in my opinion. And I mean, there are some people that absolutely love mops or rounds and would prefer to use a round like this 80–90% of the time, and you know, we're opposites, and that's okay. So it's just whatever you prefer, and that's just the fun of figuring it out. Okay, so I've got a few shimmers here. I've got another tray. I think I'll just stick with this one for now. So let's just pick some colors and go for it. I've been craving kind of a lighter colored one, so I think I'm gonna try this color right here. This color is, I don't have them all labeled, so I have to pull each one out to find out. This is called Glowing Coral by Cosmic Creations. Laura, she's the maker of these handmade shimmers, and that's the one we're gonna start with. So what I'll do, I'll leave this here for now. Let me make sure, was this the right one? I think it was. Yeah, Glowing Shimmers, okay. We're going to take a big amount of water. So I'm gonna go this holds a lot of water. So I'm just gonna do 2. And then I'm just going to spread it around until the water mixes with the paint and kind of wakens it up, people like to say. I just like to stir until there's a nice creamy mixture. You're gonna want it to get nice and creamy, right? So here we go. I'm just kind of trying to go evenly around. Otherwise you end up with this hole like this, and I prefer it not to do that. So I'm just trying to work in the edges as well. Okay, when you get a creamy mixture, you're good to go. Then, what I also like to do is have a cloth nearby. I like to take my brush and sort of roll the belly around a little bit, just to kind of help some of that water come off. I don't want it super watery. And then we'll just sort of pick a spot, and we will paint our little middle of the pumpkin shape. By all means, I'm not a pumpkin expert, and this paintbrush is big, right? So it's gonna give me a big body of a pumpkin. And I'm not an expert, and this brush doesn't give me a lot of control, so that's why some people would like the round instead. Okay, so this really isn't a explanation on how to make pumpkins. This is just an exploration on color, on different color shimmers. So you'll see this one will change in different lighting. So what I'm doing is getting this first little middle body here, and then I'm gonna start here, and I'm gonna press out and come down, kind of hugging that middle shape with a backward C, and then I can do that again. And they don't need to be perfect. Don't make them perfect. I clearly cannot make mine perfect, so it's okay. This is just a play with color, with fun color, with shimmers, and they don't have to be perfect. Just paint anything. If you want to paint circles for your swatches, paint that. If you want to paint crooked pumpkins like I am, do that. If you want to paint stripes, that's good too. Anything you like to paint, do it. Just play with your colors, right? Just get your colors out and start swatching them, especially something like shimmers like this. I use them every day, but I tend to lean towards using them as splatters. That's my own personal preference. You could turn your paper around if you prefer. You can turn it upside down if that works better for you. Certain angles for me would work better that way. And so that's okay. Do it how you like it, right? Do it how it makes sense for you to work. So we'll just add a little bit of pumpkin particles back there. And that doesn't really make sense, but that's okay. Again, it doesn't have to. Rinse my brush pretty good. I'm gonna grab, let's just grab this random color right here for my stem. And I'm just going to put a simple stem on there. And again, these don't need to be perfect, so don't worry about it. Don't make them perfect. Life is so imperfect, and that's okay. Okay. Oops. Definitely making that imperfect. Whoa, where is my brush going? So that's the thing about a mop too, is that mops can be kind of have minds of their own. They definitely like to do their own thing. And so I'm going to take a liner now, which is just a thin, long brush. Anything will do, size 2, size 4, anything you like. I'm going to now pick another color for my stem, and this is just me swatching. So that last color we used for the stem was called, if you wanted the color names, you have to go back and watch. This one is Sea Anemone. And so now for the little, what are those things called? Not tendrils. I don't know what those things are called. I have no idea. Can you tell me the name? I forget. Let's grab a color called Ghost Gold. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's very kind of you to say. This isn't my best work, but I wanted to show you the swatchings of these colors because I think they're fun, and it's kind of a fun way to show on, you know, just different designs and different than just a square swatch or something. So we'll just do those little lines. Okay. So let's see. Let's try a different brush. Now that we did that brush, let's go with this little round. This is a size 4 round, slightly moppish too. And we'll pick another color. Let's go with this funky little green color here. Bluish green. And this is called Macaw. So that's a shimmer, and this is, I think it's just a regular, it's a duo. two duochromes go different ways, do different colors. So see how these colors kind of shift upon tilting and moving. They show better when you do it this way. You kind of bend the paper all around. Okay, so let's go ahead and get, again, taking my brush, putting about 2 or 3 brushes full of water on there, getting it really nice and creamy. See how creamy that is? Kind of like a little soup in there, and then you grab it out, and then we'll just make our swatch. Pumpkin swatch. Pumpkin swatches, I think, are fun, even if I can't paint a pumpkin shape to save my life. Hello. You don't have to be able to paint them. If you get enough of them, they end up looking cute regardless if you can paint them or not, I feel. So just paint them. Just try anyway. They don't have to be perfect. Pumpkins aren't perfect in real life anyway, are they? They're kind of all frumpy and funny, and you know, some are like lumpy and bumpy, and that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't matter. So just paint and have fun. Swatch your colors. Get new colors out. Again, imperfections are fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Okay, I'm gonna grab another color. I'm gonna grab this pink for the stem because why not? And that color is, let me pick it out of here. I use this color all the time and I can never remember for the life of me. Let's use a different one. Let's use Aphrodite. We're gonna use Aphrodite, and we are going to wet it again. And make sure that I got enough paint. And there we go. We're just gonna kind of give it and you can kind of spread the stalk around so it drips into the pieces of here if you want. If not, then that's okay too. You could also splatter. Splattering would be fun here. There you go. Okay, rinse, grab my liner. Going to use that same color on our little, not tendrils, what are those suckers called? I have, what are these things called? Right here. These things. I cannot remember. All I can think of is tendrils, like hair tendrils, and they're not. What are they? There is on the tip of my tongue. I just can't remember what it's called. Okay, I'm gonna grab my tea off the stove because it's boiling. got my tea. Let me see, my tea bag tells me there's Pleasure in the Pathless Woods by Lord Byron. Byron. Okay. I don't love those splatters I ended up adding, so I'm just gonna pick those out of there. Okay. Let's use this size round 6 or 4, and we'll make the next one. Let's pick this pink color. Let's see what it is. This is a duochrome again, and this is called Pixie. And I think I'll use the color next to Pixie after that, and that is called English Lavender. So first Pixie and then English Lavender, if you're trying to keep track of what colors I'm using. Okay, so Pixie. Again, I'm adding about 2 brush worths of paint, of water. And I'm going to mix that up pretty darn good to have a bit of a soupy area. And then let's do more of a long and linear one, if I can. Again, pumpkins are not my forte. Sorry if you came here to watch somebody make great pumpkins. That's not me. We're just watching colors and playing with metallic colors and seeing what they look like. These are loose and messy and uneven, and that's okay because it doesn't really matter. You can do what you like, and it's all okay. Don't have to be perfect to make art. You don't even have to make pretty stuff to post it. Post whatever the heck you want. Put it out there. The art community is really, really kind, especially on Instagram. I can't say the same for YouTube. They're not as generous. Often YouTube is a little more harsh, I think, because it's more everybody, right? Versus YouTube or Instagram that is very, can be very community-like. I don't think YouTube has that feel, really, right? We all come to YouTube for all sorts of stuff. Like, we come here for everything, right? We come here to figure out how to fix our water heater. We come here to try to learn a new hobby. We come here to lose track of time. Like, there are just so many reasons we come to YouTube versus Instagram. I mean, some of those reasons are the same on Instagram, but I feel like it's definitely more of a community. Thank you for appreciating the pumpkins. They are messy, they are loose, but they're fun, right? And there's swatches of these colors I'm using. So what I'm gonna do is grab another color for the stem. I'm gonna use this copper colored, and I'm just gonna make it go out this way, since we have some sort of, stuff in the way here. And then we're gonna I'm just gonna grab any other color this is a ghost color. That's just a type of I was using earlier, yesterday, a minute ago. Let's grab our English Lavender, I think it was called. Was that the last one I said that we would try next to this purple? So this swatch is going to be English Lavender. And we're just making swatches of color today to kind of play with these colors and see what colors they are. Because a lot of times you look at these paints in the pan and they don't look like what they paint, especially on black paper. Black paper is an amazing way to test out your shimmers, your duochromes, your super shifters, all the fancy names they have for all these different types of shimmers, and there are a lot of them. Ghosts, there we go. We're just gonna work our way around this shape. And again, I'm not too concerned with perfection. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it either. It's not important. Just get that. Look how pretty that is, though. Right? They're all just different fun colors. Okay, and then let's rinse our brush, grab our liner. I never leave my brush in the water, so I'm constantly rinsing. All right, let's go with a ghost paint for the stem. And this ghost is, for this one, is going to be called Venus. It is one of my favorite ghosts. And ghosts, they look kind of white in the pan. I'll show you. These are ghosts. This whole row is ghosts. So they look kind of white, but you'll see as I add this what it does. They're just really kind of fun. They definitely shift colors and do different things. So they'll look one way or another. This one actually kind of looks like the color I already used. But that's okay. Now let's grab this same one we used here and we'll add those little, that nobody can remember the names of either, or nobody's telling me the names because I can't remember. Oh, I wish I could remember. All right, let's do a few more and that'll be it. Okay, what colors have we not used? We have a pink, we have a purple, we have an orange, we have a gold, we have a bluish gold, we have a yellowish. Let's do a, how about, you know what? I wanted a really green one. Let's try, this color is called June Beetle. Okay, we're gonna try June Beetle. See what we get from June Beetle. All right, adding 3 brush worths of water to my pan. I'm gonna make it nice and creamy. Nice and creamy. Okay, and then we'll just go right here. And I got a chunk, a little bit of, I'm not sure, pigment, fuzz. And just make our little fat round pumpkin. And you don't have to make sure the sides are even. Actually, they should be uneven, right? You don't want perfect, trying to be too perfect, because then it looks even more forced. All right, and that side. You can even add a little bit to the back there if you want to. Okay, and then let's add a really bright stem. We're going to use a color I've used already called, what color is this? Ghost Gold, Ghost Gold again. And there's Ghost Gold, really pretty gold. Okay, and then we're gonna rinse. And we're gonna grab our liner again. We'll use that same color, I think, for that we used for the stem as for the tendrils that I keep calling them, the vine. I guess it's the dried out vine. I'm assuming that has a name. The dried out vine has a name. All right. Okay, and then we'll do one in a ghost. So once these dry, I'll be able to show you how well they shift. All right, let's go for this pink color right here. This is called, let me pop it out so we get the name of it. It's called, what are you called? You are called Moonstone. We are using Moonstone. Okay. Moonstone. I keep making these pretty fat, fat pumpkins. I really wanted some tall and skinny pumpkins, but I keep going big and fat. That's okay. Rotund, round. I think it's okay to call a pumpkin fat. Okay. Pumpkin power. All right. And one more side. Oops, that one got out of control. That's okay. Again, doesn't really matter. It's okay. You could always add, if you wanted to, add like a little one right here. It looks like it's going behind. I'm not really great at that kind of stuff, and that's okay. Again, you don't have to be great at that either. Just paint the stuff because it's fun. And crooked. It's okay to be crooked. Okay, let's add a really pretty copper. Copper stem, and then we grab our liner brush again. We'll go back to that same copper because it's really pretty against that ghost color. Okay. There we go. want this paint on because it goes everywhere. Like everywhere, everywhere. So I'm covering everything I don't want this shimmer on. And you can take your shimmer and you can do a little bit of splattering just to add a little fun. And you don't have to if you don't like it. And these are, again, this isn't meant to be art really for me. Well, it is. Let me take that back. This is meant to be swatches of color. I am testing out my swatches and I'm just doing them in a pumpkin shape instead of, you know, instead of a square or instead of just something simple. So what you could do if you did these was go back through and label each one with the color, right? You can cutely curve the name around, write the name somewhere else. You could draw little arrows to each color you used on the stems, on the vines, all those things. You could add that color and then you would know. So what I'm gonna do is dry this really quick so I can show you. I'm gonna mute just so you don't have to hear the dryer. This is a heat tool. If you don't have it, it's the best $12 ever. Go buy it. Okay, so there we have it. There's our pumpkin on, if you needed to know what paper, Strathmore black paper. You can also grab that linked in my bio on Instagram. I'll try to link it down here below, and I'll also link Laura's shop. So all the colors that you saw today are will be labeled, not will be labeled, but could be in her shop. And so let me show you what some of these colors do. So see how they can change in different lighting and different perspectives. And that's the really fun thing about some of these shifting paints and these duochromes. They just change in every different direction. And so I like to use these for splatters. I'm not huge on incorporating them on every piece of my work in a large amount. I kind of just prefer, like I said, the sprinkling like this. I love just that glow, add some light back into pieces. And that's how I like to use mine. Occasionally I'll paint in a tree in a shimmer, or maybe I'll add some shimmer on some water surfaces or something. So those are another ways you can use it. You can use them on any kind of cards you make. If you're a writer, if you have a glass dip pen, you can use them that way. You can use them in one of those vessel pens. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those pens, they have the little cup on the side and it dips down. Sort of like a calligraphy, but it's not a calligraphy pen. Anyway, there are a lot of different options for these and I just think they're kind of fun. So if you haven't tried out shimmers, give them a try, and I'll see you next time. Bye.